Now, he said this jokingly, maybe in passing, but I have to shine some light on it because the word terrorism is being thrown out like a free card from Oprah. You're a terrorist. You're a terrorist. The Democrats are terrorists. The Houthis are terrorists. This is what I'm talking about. This is the rhetoric. And this is why so many people are in support of this war right now, is because they've been convinced that these are actually terrorists. And we're doing the right thing because if we don't, they're going to kill us.
The Republicans are wonderful people, but we're dealing with very sick individuals. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists. And we have to protect our country. We have to protect our border. We have to protect our wall. If it was up to them, they'd open up the wall. They'd let millions of people pour into our country again. And we've all been through that. I don't care if you're liberal or conservative.
I think Mr. Rump just said something very important, which is the Democrats are terrorists. And before we go too much further here, I want to look up what is the definition of a terrorist, right? So if now the president is saying that the Democrats are terrorists, it says terrorism is the calculated use of violence or threat of violence against non-combatants to coerce governments or societies for ideological, political, or religious aims. Perpetrators include organizations groups. Of course, they have ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and lone offenders radicalized online. Attacks often target public spaces, infrastructure, and tourists. Okay, so that's what a terrorist is. And apparently, Encyclopedia Rump just designated Democrats as terrorists as well. So in the bigger context of this, I think this is where a lot of people are split when it comes to this war with Iran, because the number one talking point is these are global terrorists terrorizing the world and supporting terrorist groups. So let's get this straight. If you don't know about the Nakba, when the Israels originally went back in the 40s, went into this sovereign territory of the Palestinians and basically kicked them out, killed a lot of people, ran them out of their houses, and took over their land. Since then, these occupied Palestinians have revolted every now and then. We'll say the most recent one is October 7th, right? 2023. So that was a revolt because they have been occupied since the 40s. And when they retaliate, they're considered terrorists. Now they are retaliating on an occupied force that has not only displaced them, their family, killed people, took over their land. This is how they're living over there. And the reason why they want to designate Iran as a number one terrorist group in the world is because they support their neighbors and their neighbors' sovereign rights. And we call them they're funding terrorist groups. They're funding resistance. So I think that the words need to be correctly applied in this situation. There's resistance and then there's aggression. So normally the people who should be considered terrorists are the aggressors. Let me see. Over the past 40, 50, 60 years, which countries have been the aggressors around the world? Do you remember Iran going and just doing stuff that they weren't pushed, they weren't targeted, their leaders wasn't killed? They retaliate. They do retaliate, and they're usually like an arm for arm, eye for eye type of stuff, because that's what their religion teaches. Their religion doesn't teach to go and take people's land because it was promised to you. That's not what the religion of Islam teaches. It does not teach to go and dash babies on the rock because this is yours, and if they're there, you can kick them out and do whatever to them. Islam doesn't teach that. Islam will teach retaliation, but an eye for an eye. It has to be in kind. So, yes, this group has been oppressed for a very long time, and they retaliate every now and then. Every now and then they get up the muster, their strength to strike back because they are currently being oppressed, right? So let's just get that clear when we want to say who's the terrorist and who's not the terrorist. Because honestly, the United States and Israel fall clearly under these categories with the amount of aggression that we have done across the globe in honor of our interest. So because we're interested in something, that gives us the right to go around the world and displace people, drop bombs, kill families. That sounds like terrorism to me. That doesn't sound like something interesting, like, oh, well, this is my interest, so I can do that. No, that sounds like terrorism. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So now he has just declared that the Democrats are the terrorists.